Okay, so today we're going to be talking about wrist tendonitis and its causes and how we can treat it with some simple exercises at home. So wrist tendonitis, obviously the tendons of the wrists, typically the tendons down the back of the wrists, the extensor tendons, but also the flexor tendons can be involved. Now tendonitis describes inflammation of a tendon. It's often characterised by quite intense pain, and more often than not we see it in clinic from repetitive injuries, so repetitive overload. That can be from a number of things, i.e. sitting at the office, working long hours typing, potentially if you're typing in an incorrect position. So if your wrist is overly extended or overly flexed, or it may just be doing that action for long periods that can affect the tendons. Other things can be more manual work, i.e. using hammers or using a screwdriver on a repetitive basis that leads to this pain and inflammation. So if you've got the pain and inflammation and it's visibly swollen and quite hot to the touch, I suggest using ice and going down the anti-inflammatory route, perhaps checking with your GP before you do so on that front. We also say relative rest. So I know it's not always realistic to rest completely from work activity, but if you can try and cut down on things like using a screwdriver, perhaps instead resort in using, say, an electric screwdriver, and perhaps look at wrist splints and supports that you could wear if you're working at a PC for long periods of time. Now in terms of exercises, when it's acute and quite swollen and quite sore, we want to be a little bit careful initially. So if we look at just some gentle stretches, so to stretch the back or the extensor tendons, if you take your arm totally straight, pull the wrist down, so you're trying to pull your fingertips down towards your forearm and hold until you feel a stretch just into the back of the forearm. So hold that stretch for around 20-30 seconds, slowly coming back off. When it's less irritable and getting a little bit easier, you can increase the stretch by adding slight pressure around the back of the knuckles and flexing the fingers into a fist shape. Now to stretch the opposite side, the flexor tendons, just swap the wrist round and again just gently apply a slight pressure on the back of the fingers there. Okay, so starting with simple stretches. Another stretch you can do is to bring your arm into your side like so, starting with the palm down, and then twist as far around as you can, trying to get your pinky and little finger up towards the ceiling, and then coming back as far as you can. So this is what we start with, the stretches. As the tendonitis gets a lot easier, less painful, less swollen, we then want to look at strength. So a nice, quick and easy strength exercise. If you take the arm, keep it flat, you can place a good hand on top of the affected wrist, and you're going to press the fingers and hand up against your hand. So notice I'm not actually moving anywhere. It's similar to that of, say, an arm wrestle, where you're pushing quite hard but there's no actual motion occurring. So if you can hold what we call an isometric contraction for around 20 seconds, and then ease, and then repeat about 4 or 5 times. So these are a bit more advanced for when the tendonitis is starting to regress and get better.